Hi, everybody. Good evening. And good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whichever part of the world you are in. Um, I thought, Eric began this by saying, he introduced me, not just now, but in the previous place where I saw my name, I saw psychodrama and a folk tale. So I decided I'll tell a folk tale, and I'm not a storyteller, but I certainly tell. I mean, I'm a storyteller, not a professional one. Let's say it that way. So, Eric, I hope uh, the story that I picked was the Fish Brothers story. Has anybody in this group heard of this story of seven brothers? It's a story from Tamil Nadu, from the place I am. And the story is about seven brothers and a sister. And one of the brothers is a fish. Okay. So, as in, I mean, whether it's metaphorically a fish or whether really a fish, that's left up to us to imagine. So, the story is uh, the sister would take lunch for her brothers who were working in the field. And one brother, who is the fish, would take her across the river that she needed to cross to go to the field to meet and give lunch to her brothers. So she had this practice where she would make hot food at home, and the brothers are toiling in the fields all morning. And then she would carry their lunch. And when she comes to the river, she calls for her fish brother who would come, and then she would ride on his back. He would take her across the river, and she would give the food to her brothers. And then she would, when the brothers finish eating, she would take a little ball of rice and she would make it into a nice ball. And when she comes back to the river to go home, she would feed that ball of rice to her fish brother, who would take her back to the other side of the river so she can go home. So this was the practice, and this happened for a long time. But one day, when she went across the river and she gave her brother food, all her brother's food, the brothers enjoyed the meal. They thought she made excellent food. So they ate up every morsel. There was no rice for her to give her fish brother. So she got a bit worried. And then what she did was she just saw some of the rice that spilt on the earth, on the ground, on the dirt. She thought she will take that and she will make that into a little ball. And she expected her fish brother not to notice. So she made this little ball of rice with the sand and with the dirt that was sticking to it. And she made this nice ball and she took it to her fish brother. And then she said, I've brought you lunch as usual. Here is your share of the lunch. And she gave it to her fish brother. And then the brother was very angry because he had all this dirt in his mouth. He didn't expect, he thought there's, good food coming, and then there's this ball of little bit of rice with a lot more dirt. So he was very angry with her. And so what he did was he cut her leg with his fin because he was very, very angry. When he dropped her off on the other side of the river, he just cut her leg with his fin. So, Tamil Nadu, we are very famous for the relationship between our brothers and sisters. For those of you from this part of the world, you know, sisters are very precious, and the relationship between a brother and sister, there are many, many stories of the relationship between a brother and sister in this part of the world. So she goes back home with this cut on her leg. And then that evening, all her other brothers come back from the field and they're asking her, what happened? What happened, sister? What happened to you? And then she said, oh, fish brother cut my leg. And the brothers were so mad. How can he do this to you? He has no right to do this to you. She didn't tell the rest of the story. She only said that brother cut her leg. So the brothers went to the river and then they killed fish brother because he had hurt their sister. And they cut him, they killed the fish, and then they brought the dead fish, and then they put him on one side of the river bank, and they buried that fish brother there. Time went by. Eventually, a beautiful rose bush grew at the place of the place where the fish brother was buried. They were the most exquisite roses. And then it was time for the sister to be married. So this whole process of Ponnu Paakkarathu, this is where all the men come to see one by one with their family. They come to see the girl, and then they decide whether they want to marry her or not. So there was this nice, a nice guy who came, who liked her very much. His family liked her, liked this woman a lot. So they decided that she will be his bride. And when it came to the wedding day, for whatever reason, there were no roses for the garland. So they looked everywhere for roses and they could not find roses for the garland for the bride and the groom. And so eventually one of the brothers said, you know that rose bush, you know where we buried our fish brother? That has a lovely rose bush there, and you know, we can take some of the roses from there. And so the brothers went there to pluck the roses. And when they went close to the bush, and they said, Rose bush, we are here to take flowers from you for our sister's garland, wedding garland. And, you know, these are the most beautiful roses. So we are really happy to come and take these flowers. And the rose bush began to speak. And the rose bush said, you can't pluck my flowers because she killed me unjustly. I am not going to give you any flowers. And so the brothers were very upset and they were not able to pluck the roses. So they went back home. And when they went back home and they told their parents, there are beautiful roses there, enough for the garlands for the wedding, but the rose bush is not letting us pluck the flowers. So the parents come there, and when the parents came, the rose bush started to sing and said that she is not worthy of my flowers. She killed me, unjustly killed me, and I am not going to allow you to take my flowers. So the parents, that was the first time they heard the story. So they went back to their daughter and asked her, what did you do? What did you do to this brother? And then she tells them the story of what happened. And then they said, you have to go immediately and ask for his forgiveness. So this girl, the bride-to-be, she goes to the rose bush and then she sits there and she asks forgiveness from the brother who was dead and buried there. And she told, she said that it was very, very wrong what I did to you, and I'm very sorry. So the rose bush began to speak to her and said that Now you can take my flowers. I forgive you, and you have my blessing for your wedding. So the rose bush allowed people to take her and her family to gather the roses for the wedding. And of course, the most beautiful rose garlands were made for the wedding from that very rose bush. So this is the story of the fish brother. And there are like 25 versions of the story. Various aspects of the story that is different, and each teller would tell the story differently. And so, of course, I picked and chose from different ways the story is written. So this is one version of the story. So what we're going to do today is this story. We're going to look at it from the aspect of, through psychodrama, we're going to process this story. And this is where I would like people who are, with your cameras on to be able to participate. Okay, because the others, I don't think you'll be able to participate if your cameras are not on. Okay, so I just want different people here to share which character in this story do you relate to and why.
Well, Magdalene, before we begin, so now we're 15 minutes into the session and you've told the story, so we're not going to let any new people come in, correct?
Yes, I think it doesn't make sense.
Okay. And then we have let's see, four times we have 17 people have the cameras on, 5 have their cameras off. What are we going to do about those 5? Do we let them stay or do we ask
They
them to
can
leave?
stay, and you're not, so they can stay, and we'll just work with what we have here. Then.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, please carry on.
All right. So I can see many familiar faces. Priyanka, hi. Tui, hi. Aparna, lovely to see you. And I guess that's as many people that I know today. So anyway, I would like you all to have your cameras on so that it's easier. But I'd like you to also share a little bit about the different characters that we saw and who are the people you were able to connect with. It can be the fish, it can be a river, it can be even different aspects of the story. Okay? So we're going to enact parts of the story and let's see what happens. So anybody who'd like to share a little bit about who they connected to and what was that connection? I mean, explain or share a little bit more about that connection.
Now,
Okay.
some people are writing in the chat section. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine. I can see it. So yes, somebody connects with the fish brother, Priyanka.
Yeah, hi. I connect with the last few grains of rice
Uh-huh.
on the very day when things happened.
Okay.
So, and if the rice could be personified, perhaps they would have spoken, Kaisa mat karo, please
Yes,
don't.
we can do that. So Priyanka, why don't you write next to your name the ball
Mhm.
of rice?
Okay,
The
sure.
last few that last, the little fish, the rice ball. Okay, thank you. Others?
Magdalene, I'm the rice ball, but on the last day when it was
Correct,
mixed with, yeah.
correct. Yes. Aparna?
Yeah. I could connect with the parents who were there, who, really tried to understand all their children unequivocally. So I think I connect with the parents.
Okay, lovely. So just next to your name, put a slash there and write parents so I know. And we have other people also who are going to take on roles. Somebody raised their hand just now.
Now,
Yeah.
Magdalene, you're asking people to change their name as it appears on their
Next
little.
Yeah, it was
to their name.
me.
Just add.
That's
Deepa,
it.
did you raise your hand?
Yes, yes,
Go
I
ahead.
had raised my hand.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You muted. I can't hear you.
Okay, I could connect with Fish Brother,
Uh-huh. Okay.
and because he wanted his probably he wanted his sister to realize her mistake,
Yes,
and then he forgave.
absolutely. So, yes, thank you, Deepa. So you can just put Fish Brother next to your name. Okay? Rajesh?
I can be one of the brothers.
Uh-huh. Okay. One of the brothers. Okay, not the fish brother, but one of the other brothers.
Oh,
Okay.
fish brother is already taken. So,
Okay. Thank you, Rajesh.
yeah.
Other people?
I think I would like to connect because everything else is being taken. I would want to connect with the sister.
With the sister. Okay. So we try to go with a connection. Okay. So even if there are, it can be two people taking on the same role. Okay. So it can be two versions of the sister also. So not to worry. If you feel connected to any one of the roles, please feel free.
Yeah,
Doesn't
because I feel sometimes unknowingly you do things
uh-huh.
which probably leads to something like what happened with the fish brother.
Okay. Okay.
So
So you are taking on the role of the sister.
yes.
Okay. Yes. So thank you. Dipti?
I think I want to be a villager because somehow I can't understand that, the fish brother died and everything goes back to normal. Not a single person mourns for him. I just don't get that. So
You're going to
I'll
be
be
the
the,
witness.
yeah, I'm going to be the villager who will, gossip and say, I don't understand, Yeah.
Thank you. We need that. Okay.
With a rose flower.
Mona, you're
Yes.
going to be the rose flower. Okay, lovely. Okay. Who else? Tui, you're connecting with the wedding guest or what? What did you say? Let's see. You're connecting with somebody who's at the wedding? Yes? Okay, one of the wedding guests. Okay, thank you. And we also have Jasmine saying brother. Aparna said parents already. And Tanya is also going to play the role of parents. So just add your name at the end of add the role at the end of your name. So I know who are the people who are taking on different roles, okay? Because I'm going to get you all in the spotlight. So you're going to take on these roles and you're going to speak from these roles. And you get to choose who you want to speak to. All right? So anybody else who wants to take on a role? The more the merrier. So, anybody else?
Excuse me, can you
Yeah.
tell me how to snap this to my name?
I'm sorry? Tanya.
Yes, how to change the name, I cannot find.
Okay. I can help you. Tanya, you said you want to be one of the parents? Did you say parents, Tanya?
And I can tell people how to change their name. In your rectangle on the upper right corner, there are three dots. If you move your cursor to the upper right corner, if you click on those three dots, you go about 10 lines down and it says rename. Click on that and then you can edit your name.
So, Tanya, next to your name, I'm just going to say parent. Okay, parent. So, yeah. So Arushi is river. And hello, brother. Whose microphone is creating some trouble here? Is it Tanya? Tanya, your microphone is some trouble. Okay. Let's have. Okay, so now, Eric, I need help here. I need everybody who's taking on a role to be in the spotlight.
Okay, I'll do that.
Jasmina needs help with her name.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't change my name. I'm sorry.
Don't
If you
worry.
can
I'm
help
very
me,
excited
thank you
to
very much, Magdalene.
do that. Jasmina is brother. Okay. All righty. I'm just going to change her name here so it's easy for us. Jasmina. I can't find you suddenly. I think it's
I'm here.
not you, Eric. I'm talking about Jasmina. Where?
Oh, Jasmina's here.
Okay, we need to change her name. This pictures keep moving, the windows.
Yes. What role is Jasmina playing?
Brother.
Yes, brother, yes.
Okay, I'm saying that.
Okay, Jasmina. Did you change her name?
Yes.
Okay, great. Lovely. So then I've come on to the gallery view. I'm just going to go back to the speaker view so we have everybody in different roles.
Well, I have 7 people now in Spotlight.
Yes, but there are more people. We have Priyanka, and then we have Tui as a guest.
I think almost everybody is in Spotlight.
They're not letting us add Spotlight anymore.
No, yeah, 9 is the limit.
9 is the limit. Okay. So then we'll do one thing. Then we'll just have to have everybody present. And those who are taking on roles, then they can speak. So what we're going to do here is the way you take on a role is, you can take a scarf or take a cushion or something from your room that you can, just grab and you keep it with you, and then you're in that role. And I'm not going to go by order, but different people can just talk. And when you speak, you have to choose who you're talking. Okay? So you have to say, I am the brother and I want to speak to you, sister. And there may be 2 sisters. So both the sisters will hear what the brother is saying. Okay? And you have to respond as the sister. So we'll have 2 versions of sister in this case. So whoever is taking on the role, you can just respond from the role as well. And you can share whatever else you want to share. Eric, there are more people coming in.
So we'll let people come in?
I don't know whether it will make sense to them.
Yeah, let them come in just as they can observe. But now, shall I take people out of the
I
spotlight?
think so, because only 9 people are allowed in the spotlight, and there are more roles. So we'll take.
I'm taking everybody out of the spotlight.
Yeah, so we can see each other, and we'll be able to see which roles a person is playing. You can remove all the spotlight there.
Yep, it's happening.
Very good. So we look at the gallery view. All right. Who wants to begin taking on the role? Anybody can start. You just raise your hand, so then we can all look at you. Okay, Priyanka and then Rajesh as brother and as the last morsel of rice. Go ahead. Yes.
My dear sister, you have really disappointed me. I had a lot of hope for you. You have shown empathy for a long, long time, cooking food for your brothers every day, carrying that, coming to the river, getting on top of the fish brother, coming here, opening the tiffin boxes, serving to each brother, and serving them water if they need it, and then again repacking it back. And my cousins, my brother, my sister, my parents have served your brothers and you for a long, long time. Even during the famine days, during thick and during thin. But what have you done? How have you disrespected us? Because the food is not meant to be wasted. You have mixed me with dirt. You have mixed me with twigs. And you have disrespected food and beverage, and that keeps human alive. I didn't expect this from you, a person who is supposed to have empathy. Perhaps you could have spoken truth for one time, just served a small little rice ball instead of a big ball, and perhaps that would have pleased your brother. But today you have done something that shouldn't have been done in the human history ever. So, dear human, I curse you. In near future, you all will be in trouble and you will suffer from food scarcity. Amen.
Oh, this is for all the humans or the sister alone?
She is representing all the humans.
Oh,
the
sister is representing all the other humans. Sister, please respond. And Rajesh, just hold on a bit. Yes.
I think last morsel of rice, I disrespected you. But all I could do was I was gloating when the brothers went about saying how good the food was. I just forgot because I was on a high horse that I cooked such a good meal that they just wanted to finish every single morsel of grain. And then after I got off my high horse, I realized that, oh my God, there is nothing to feed my dear fish brother. I didn't want to disappoint him. And all I could think that time was just to pick up quickly whatever was there. I searched all the leaves, the banana leaves. I opened each of those banana leaves to search for one little morsel of grain. But all my brothers just finished eating. And sometimes I feel, couldn't they think of my fish brother that is something left for him? Or did you have food, sister? They never bothered to ask me if I had food or if anything was left behind. They didn't want to look behind if somebody was waiting to have a little small morsel of food. All they wanted was to finish off everything that was there in front of them. And somewhere I felt that if somebody is eating, I don't know, maybe I'm conditioned that way. When somebody is eating, you don't stop them from eating. You don't tell them that, eat less.
Okay. Thank you, sister, for sharing that. And brother, Rajesh.
Yeah. Where should I start? I mean, is it at the end of the story or shall
Wherever
I
you
in
want.
between?
Wherever.
Okay. So, sister, why are you crying? What happened to you? I can't see tears in your eyes. Tell me who did this. I am not going to leave that. What? What happened to you? Tell me everything.
The other brother, that we have many brothers here. So, Jasmina, do you want to go ahead?
Okay, so whatever kind of part of story.
Yes.
Please don't cry.
Mm.
You can take my hand if you want.
Mhm.
I'm here.
Mm.
I'm listening to you.
Mhm.
I'm interested what is bothering you right now. I will be here.
Thank you, brother. Deepa?
But nobody thinks of me, isn't it? You're just bothered to fill your tummies. You did not even remember me once. And I'm particularly angry with my other brothers
Mm.
who just ate it. That's fine. They did not think about me. But how could they not think about me or ask me for the reason why did I hit my sister? They just simply came and killed me. Why? I am also one of the brothers. I did not feel good when I hurt my sister. But you killed me without asking me, without giving me a chance to explain myself. Why?
Yeah. Do we have other brothers here? Let's hear from the villager.
Yeah, so I'd like to actually talk to the river and not to any of the brothers or parents, anyone else involved. And that is, I'm just talking to a river and saying, I am,
Speak to the river. Go ahead
yeah,
and speak to the river. The river is right here.
yeah. So I am a villager who comes by the river and has her lunch, has his or her lunch every day. And I see the way that the sister gets on. To the fish brother goes there, gives the food for all the brothers and comes back. And it's just very shocking what has happened. That, it just took one small cut for the brothers to, kind of gang up against one brother without asking. And in that fury that they did to one brother, and the fury that one brother did to his sister, all of it, once it abated, did no one think of questioning it? What were the parents doing? Don't they feel the loss of their brother? What about the brothers? Don't they feel the loss of their brother? Is no one going to ask about this injustice?
Ask these
Yes.
brothers. Ask these brothers. villagers.
I
Ask
don't
them.
know.
They're
I
all
won't.
here. How can you
I
do this? Yeah.
know. They must be going through their own way of mourning, but at the same time, I wish someone would say, okay, we acted in haste.
Helen,
That's what I'd like to say.
thank you. Helen, go ahead as the fish brother. We can't hear you.
Sister, what have you given me? Rice? This is not rice I'm tasting. What have you mixed in it? Dirt? I have carried you on my back and forth in the river for so many years, and is this how you treat me? Why didn't you even think of me? You didn't even think of saving some food for me? You only think of your other brothers and you gloat because they complimented you? This will not do. I am very, very disgusted and I'm disappointed. And this is how I will treat you. Shh. It hurts, right? There's blood, yes. It hurts. And that's how I'm feeling. I'm hurting too because you didn't think of me. Go. Go. You can complain to your other brothers. Because I too am disappointed that they didn't even think of keeping even a small morsel for me. And your tears will not move me.
Parents, would you like to say anything?
Yes, we could say what kind of parents we are, what kind of kids we raise, to keep everything in secret, to solve their problems in fighting between each other, for not recognizing what the other is doing for them, and hiding, lying. When we were going to know all about this, who was going to tell us? And when we lost our child, it was different, but it doesn't give you the right to hurt him.
Thank you,
We
parents.
are in pain.
Let's hear the other parent.
Yeah. So that was your father speaking, and I'm specifically talking to my daughter, and I really want to ask you, what made you do what you did? We brought you up well, I thought. Your brothers love you, and you must know by now that you are the only girl child, and your brothers dote over you. Your the fish brother looked after you every single day. You think he had no other work other than taking you on his back every single day? And don't you think the other brothers love you? They looked after you. They want you to get married. And look at all the things they did just for one rose garland. I mean, I thought I was a feminist and I thought I was looking after your needs every single day. I would pamper you because you're the only girl. So was the rest of the family. What did you do and how could you tell a lie? How could you keep the truth? And it was your brother who looked after you. Is it me? Is it my fault that you've turned out like this? And now you're an adult. I don't see. Explain yourself. Help me understand what is it that made you do what you did, because I cannot, as a parent, understand this or accept this. Answer me and help me understand.
Thank you. River.
I flow. I flow and I flow, and for ages I have witnessed what has happened on the banks, what has happened within, what has happened outside. And all I can feel at this moment is pain. Is pain of not communicating, of not understanding one another, of not asking for what you needed. If I, as the river, can give and flow and receive, then I feel we all have the right to give and flow and receive. Mistakes happen. But can we sing? Can we sing together? Can we sing our pain? Can we sing our joy? Can we communicate? Is the question I have for all of you.
Thank you, River. Let's have the rose bush.
I am the rose flower. But in reality, I have taken the new birth. I am the fish brother. I thought that I just lost faith in relationships and people I trusted the most. They killed me. And now I don't want to take any human or creature or any animal, bird, insect. My only wish during my last moments was that if I would take another birth, I would rely only on the mother nature. And so I became the flower. And now what happened? For their selfish purpose, They came to me to pluck me because they didn't get any rose for the wedding. So selfish the world is. I do not know where the world is going. I feel so sad.
Wow. Any other role that wants to speak, to respond to any of the messages here? Go ahead. Does sister want to respond to mother who just spoke?
Sorry, Magdalene, I just missed you.
I asked if you as the sister wants to speak to your mother. She just said something. In the meanwhile, here's a brother who wants to speak. Who do you want to speak to, brother?
I want to speak to my sister and others. Sister, actually, I didn't know what happened, and now when I got to know about this, I'm feeling really ashamed. I am angry, short-tempered. You knew. You didn't tell me a whole story, and so look what you made me do. I cannot forgive myself. Look, whole village, what they are saying, river, what they are saying. It's something happening inside me, and it's always the case. We always loved our sisters, and everybody know that how much we care about you and your well-being. And that's what, and I was stupid enough, I didn't ask what happened, and no, I didn't get into everything, and I just did. With this thing, actually, I killed the brother fish. Uh, it's 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 really hurting, and I'm feeling very sorry. I mean, it's not my mother and father's fault. I mean, of mom and dad, I'm very sorry. It's just it happened in heat of an anger, uh, and I do not know how to do it. I mean, what to do it. It's just I'm feeling so sad and shocked. I do not know what to do. Please help me, somebody.
Thank you, brother. Fish brother.
I want to talk to the brother who just blamed. You just blamed your sister right away? Didn't you know her since her childhood? We have been watching her, we have been living with her. We know that how manipulative she has been. But you know that you are short tempered. Why are you putting the blame on her? Just try to take your own responsibility. Now you are feeling sorry, that's fine, but you shouldn't say sorry to her or the parents. You should have straight away come to me. You should have prayed to God for forgiveness. But instead, why are you blaming the sister? You could have thought twice before doing something.
Thank you, Fish brother, for bringing that perspective. Rice.
Yeah, there are two parents, and I would like to speak to Aparna as a parent. So, my dear parent, I know you have been agonizing and you are thinking that how come your child, your daughter, has acted something like that. But as Rice, generation after generation, we are passed on the knowledge from our great grandfather, from our grandfather, our parents, like humans as well, they do, in form of stories. So I hope you remember that day when your husband came home a little late and the glass of milk which he consumes ran out. And my mother has witnessed that. And do I have to remind you what you did that day? You cooked some detergent powder and that created some foam with milk, and you served that to your husband. But you didn't notice that your little daughter, who was just 3 years old, was sitting at the corner of the kitchen. She knew everything. So now, really, you do wonder, parent, why things happened the way it happened?
Oh my God, that's a very big secret that's out here. Hmm. All right, villager. And then we'll have the sister's response.
So I'm talking to Aparna, the parent, and I'm telling her that you raised your child very well, which is why she did what she did. She did not want her brothers to feel bad about consuming the last morsel, which is why she never told them what happened, and which she never expected them to kill her. I mean, kill him. She expected them to maybe go and scold him and finish it off. So you have raised a very good daughter who did not want to bring hurt and sadness unnecessarily to the family. And unfortunately, she did not realize as a small girl, she was a small girl then, that this is what could have
Thank you.
happened.
Thank you, villager. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm not sure Rice has witnessed what she has. It was not detergent. I frothed the milk and I gave it to my husband. It was not detergent, it was sugar powder. And the reason I gave it was because I sensed that he was late and he must have been tired. And I frothed it so that I bring it to the temperature that he likes. And Rice, I think you've seen it wrong. And I think you've seen that my daughter has given this. And what the villagers said comforts me, and what you said has just hurt me because I did the best I can. People make mistakes, and I'm trying to understand my daughter, but I have not taught her any of this. And I hope that there are things that she repents for, and there are things that she should learn in understanding how you don't spare the truth and how you always face with courage whatever situation you're in. Yes, people get angry, but there's a way to forgive, there's a way to understand, and there's a way to talk it out and
Thank
not to
you,
pull it out.
Mother. Thank you. We'll have sister, and then we'll have, I don't know what role you are in, Manisha. Where
I'm actually,
sister was
I'm
going
not,
to speak first. One
yeah,
second.
I'm
Sister
not
was going to
internet.
speak first. Hold on. Jasprit, were you going to speak first? As sister? Please go
Yes, I
ahead.
was going to respond to everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go one by one.
Yes.
So yes, I repent what I did.
Okay.
I didn't. I when I look back at this age, when I'm getting married now, and still, my fish brother has been so considerate that all he wanted was one apology, and I gave that apology to him, my heartfelt apology, which has been sitting in my heart like a wound, unhealed wound. I made that apology to him. But I would like to ask you all one thing. I want to ask my mother first. The day the milk incident happened, what you had done was you had taken the milk from my share and put it and gave it to my father. You
Oh,
added milk, you added water to my milk,
okay.
and you gave it to me. It
Okay.
was in a way to understand that, okay, the men folk have to be looked after. The head of the family has to be nourished at the cost of the others.
Okay.
And for me, my understanding was my father was working the fields. There was manual labor that he was doing there. And second thing, I want to speak to my father and my brothers. The only job that you told me that I was supposed to do was get the food, take it across. You didn't teach me how to swim. You didn't teach me how to row a boat.
Okay.
I had to depend on my brother, the fish brother, who I did not understand that, coming and picking me up was also manual labor. I thought what my brothers were doing on the other bank side of the bank, they were tilling the fields. That was what was work. And they had to be nourished. They had to be given food. You never taught me that, these are small things that I have to look out for. And I have to look out for myself. I have to learn to find my voice. When my brothers were finishing the food, I should have the right to tell them, keep a little morsel for the younger one. But all I could do was, you taught me to do, my dear mother and father, was my duty was to just take the food and come back. Even when I got hurt, all the brothers saw that it looked like a fish's bite. Even before I could complete my sentence and say we had a little fight, you jumped to a conclusion and you ran. The voice died inside my throat. And it has stayed there for so long. Today you want to blame me, please go ahead and do it. But I know I have apologized to my brother for whatever I did that day. And it was out of, I did not understand what I was doing. I learned from what I saw. I saw you people doing things and I blindly followed it.
Thank
I was told to speak only when I have to only answer questions, not to ask a question or say something. My duty was to just go, give the food, and come back. My duty was to answer the questions asked of me. My duty was just to shake my head in a yes. You never taught my neck to go this way and learn how to say no. So tell me, yes, I am at fault. I did the unthinkable. I did not open and say, I did not communicate. But communicating is two ways, my dear brothers and my parents. You have to listen and you have to speak. You have always spoken and I have always listened.
Thank you. We'll have one more brother, Jasmina.
You just gave me the answer, sister.
Oh.
And I appreciate that.
Thank you.
This is what I'm holding.
Oh.
From the beginning. And the part of responsibility is in my neck too, because the quietness and was in my throat. I hope you will forgive me.
Thank
I
you.
have only this for you.
Thank
I'm
you.
holding white because I've forgiven everyone and myself. Let's start a new slate, a clean slate with this white.
Thank you, sister.
I agree because I'm your brother, but in fact, I'm your sister. I'm the only sister in all of your brothers. I can understand you. Thank you.
Thank you. What we're going to do is I'm going to get you into breakout rooms, and I want you to share in your, I think we are, how many of us are here? I think we are about 22 people. I'm going to get you into, say, about 4 rooms. So you have many people, in at least 5 people or more in each group. And I wanted to share what happened when you when you took on these roles. How was it for you? Okay. And how much of what you said reflects certain aspects of you? Okay. When you were sharing in the role, what were some aspects of you that you were able to bring out through the role? So this is what you're going to discuss, and we're going to do 4 breakout rooms. Eric, I'm just going to do, we can do assign automatically.
Yeah. What do we do with the 5 people who have their cameras turned off? Do they go in rooms also?
Yeah, it's okay. They can go, they can share in the group.
Okay, so
you've taken on a role, what it felt like, how much of this you were able to reflect from your life. And those who did not take on roles, you can share what role that you connected with and what about this whole thing that you are connecting to. What were some insights that you're getting from just how people shared from different roles? So we really had a very interesting voices, different perspectives. So what did you learn? What was it that you're taking back with you? Okay. So we're going to go into these rooms. We'll have like 6 or 7 minutes discussion in our group. Okay. I want everybody to take a turn and share. Manisha, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. What role were you going to play?
I just put it in the chat. I wanted to talk to my mother.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
As the sister, is it?
the sister. Yes, yes. I mean,
Okay. Go ahead
I
and
want
say, what did you want to say?
that, why is it that only the sister is at the receiving end? Is it because I'm a girl? Because I loved my brothers equally. I fed them, whatever was cooked, I gave them equally. But
Oh.
even, one day I did a mistake, or that morsel of rice was mixed with dirt, only because again I loved my fish brother equally. But because of that, he harmed me, and nobody ever asked him a question, right? I mean, he was never answerable to that. And I never wanted my other brothers to harm him. They did it on their own. So how is that only because I'm a girl and I'm still living with that guilt as a woman, that as a sister? And which goes on with, because only I'm a female, I can't do justice to all the roles that I play, multiple, making sure that everybody is happy, not thinking about myself. So why am I blamed, Yeah,
Thank
that is
you.
what I
Thank you for sharing that. Very important. Okay, let's get into groups and let's have a sharing in the group. Okay. I might just come in to different groups just to kind of listen to what you are speaking and what's happening with the discussions. So I might come into one or two groups.
Did you put me in a group?
No, I put host and co-host will be out.
Okay. And somehow Shobha didn't get put anywhere.
I think she did not join. She is supposed to be in room 3.
Oh, they get invited to join?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but she hasn't joined the group. Anyway, how did it go?
Well, fine.
Because I decided let's not do a. Oh, Eric, is it still recording?
Yes.
Okay.
Should
So
I
I
pause it or pause it?
Oh, yeah. I decided.
Such a clear. So there was a reconciliation between the mother and daughter. It was almost a continuation. So there's such a blurring of lines because it felt so good to reconcile. So there is that blurring of lines from the character to what one would really, want out of this conversation. And it did not feel good to have this spate and having a reconciliation help. And also, also how there are, another realization was how I may not completely resonate with the other characters, but there are definitely aspects of the other characters as well that you can resonate with. So it requires reflection, and then you're able to see things through multiple perspectives, and you see a little bit of yourself in all of them. And I think that was also a realization. So so thank you for a lovely activity and also a lovely group that I got to spend time with. So thank you.
Thank you. Just Kirat.
Thank you for the lovely, lovely workshop, Magdalene. It was beautiful. And it resonated, I think, with all of us beautifully as to how we need to hold space for each other. And also, when I say that, yes, hearing people's voices, it also, see, it's just not the sister, even probably the older brother who was all short-tempered and all, his voice also was never heard. Maybe the whole pressure of being the older one, there's no way he can speak about it. He has to be all macho, You cannot. So I guess it resonated so much with my quest all the time to keep listening, to find that unspoken voice, to empower yourself with a voice, or to hear the unheard. And in the discussion, we had such a beautiful group spanning all the ages, and we got a lot of perspective from Apurva, the young voice, and how she looks at it. And then it was a beautiful melange, I would say, that we could hear each other's voices, not just as characters, but as people.
Lovely. So, Eric, is it possible for me to share something on the screen?
Of course. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I just wanted to say, through the Indian Institute of Psychodrama, we are running these workshops. Can you see it?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
So
I can.
you can see it, right? So this
Yeah.
is psychodrama training that we do through the Indian Institute of Psychodrama, and we are having this collaboration with the International Association of Group Psychotherapy. I'm part of that, and I'm also on the board of directors for the IGP right now. And we have a collaborative program called Shiva Shakti, where most of the psychodrama that I'm directing now, I find has a lot to do with the integration of the masculine and the feminine that we all carry. And so Shiv Shakti is the name of this particular program. We 7 of us who are teaching on this program. It's between Chennai and Mumbai. So we have trainers who are coming from, you can see it here. We are having someone coming from Sweden, from Australia, from Italy. I'm there. And then we have Switzerland, and 2 people who are going to teach online, and that's Mona and Jacob. So we're going to have very international, and we're talking about culture. So how psychodrama is also done through cultures. It's very interesting to see. And I have always experienced different people do psychodrama differently. And India finally has started its own first psychodrama board that we have begun very recently. So if anybody is interested in this program, we are beginning actually in March, not February. We are beginning next month. So if anyone is interested, get in touch with Eric, or if you have my details, please do get in touch with me. We'd be happy to have you also in this, because it's one of those very rare programs where we have different people who are going to be teaching. So psychodrama is very, very amazing program. And for those of you who are already therapists, coaches, you're in the HR, somehow in the management level, I'm sure it will be something that you could use. So that's just some information for you. And thank you all for coming. And that's my email ID Eric has given you. Thank you all for coming and sharing. It was wonderful to have you. And I recently went for this embodied presence workshop in Kodaikanal. And what I felt, it was a very moving workshop. One of the things that was repeatedly coming was how we need to show compassion to ourselves. And that compassion is also including all the judgments that we can have, to be mindful of that and to accept even that part of ourselves. So to be, because many of you did talk about, getting in touch with the guilt aspect, getting in touch with our anger, getting in touch with so many times when we can rush to make a judgment, but to be kind to yourself, that is also a part of us, and it's also something that we need to accept as something that's part of us and get on with life. So thank you all. Eric?
Great. Thank
Can
you.
I ask
Yeah,
a silly
sure.
question?
No problem. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I mean, this psychodrama. You said the HRs and the
Yeah,
senior
yeah.
managers and these, but I mean, how does it help and to whom? And
So
what is the application?
right now, actually, I'm planning to shift the name also, because very often, because psychodrama, it seems like a very strange name. Uh, but the process is so wonderful, where people start to become more genuine and feel free to express what is going on inside. And I feel in a management space, it's very good to have, because conflict management is one of the best things that I've seen through psychodrama, through encounters where people can actually see what the other person is saying, not just see it, but really feel it in their bodies, what the other person is actually trying to say. So there's a lot of things: conflict management, team building. Psychodrama is built on spontaneity and creativity. So when we get our people to be spontaneous and creative, a lot of problems can get solved, in an organization. And team building, we have fantastic exercises in psychodrama that helps people, just like how we saw here, no, different perspectives that people can get. And then there's no question about right or wrong. It's about, okay, so this is just a different perspective, how do we work with this? So I feel it's a very community building work, psychodrama, more than anything. And so it's very powerful techniques. And what one of my dear friends, who's a very senior management consultant, she's been saying, you should not, the way I'm saying psychodrama, she said you should say coaching through psychodrama. That makes more sense to people, that we coach through psychodrama. And it's a wonderful way of helping people actually look at themselves and taking on different roles, you know, and it helps. I feel it's a very, very powerful way of working in a management setup.
Yeah,
Did
in the
I
beginning,
answer your question?
yeah, in the beginning with psychodrama, I thought it's some technique in theater. I mean, maybe you develop some sort of a play and then you perform it, and then maybe but it helps maybe to understand different issues. So
Yes.
that's what I thought. Like it's a
So
part of like some
absolutely.
better
So,
method.
like in an organization, different people can share their perspective. You see, and when each one is saying, it will seem the same thing will seem multifaceted. You'll be wondering, is it the same thing that people are talking about? Because each person will have a different take on it. And it has a beautiful way. We have therapy way. I mean, in clinical settings, psychodrama works beautifully, but also in a management level, in organizations, I think it has a huge space. And I think if people are willing to open up and look at different methods of actually approaching teams, approaching people, we'll have a I think it'll be really beautiful, not just aesthetic, but also how we change inside out, how we start looking at something very, very differently. Anybody else? Yes, go ahead.
Magdalene, maybe it would be nice to do that also for families, for a member of families in conflict.
Yes,
Also to
yes,
see one subject on different ways,
absolutely.
especially
So,
couples, maybe it would be nice.
yes,
I'm
because
just thinking aloud. Sorry.
you are absolutely right. Because most of the psychodrama that I do is within a very clinical setting, right? Because I work as a therapist, I'm doing psychodrama with families, with individuals, with couples. Then I have a group that I'm running every Saturday for people with depression and anxiety. I do my psychodrama groups with them, and I mean, they simply love it. So I'm also looking at not just looking at these kind of setups, but also in an educational setup, also in an organization, because psychodrama is so versatile. You can use it in any setting. So that's what I'm trying to say. And with families and with couples in conflict, it's just beautiful the way it works. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
this amazing workshop. And I just loved interacting with everyone, hearing so many perspectives. And I'm glad that I could join and continue till the end.
Yes.
Thank you.
So everybody, before you go, make sure you're taking off your roles. You're no more brother, no more fish brother, no more. We don't want you to go back into your lives carrying these roles. All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just wanted to say it was a lovely session. Thank you, and it was fun. I
Yes.
enjoy attending these sessions.
Thank you, Anand. It was lovely to have you. Thank you.
Welcome, you're welcome.
Okay.
Excellent job, my
Bye.
dear. Excellent.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Magdalene.
Excellent.
Bye.
All right. Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.